after watching yesterday's film back again before uploading it, there were a few things that I noticed about it. Now, I am the most self-critical person you've probably ever met. Um, I don't ever think I've done it well enough, or I worry that I've upset people, or I've said the wrong thing, or whatever. But um, the first thing was that I realised right at the start that it may have come across as a little bit flippant that, you know, somebody gave me an ultimatum and I just stopped drinking like that. I want to explain that I was 39 when I stopped drinking. I went to my first AA meeting when I was 16. So 23 years of going to AA and failing, and trying it on my own and failing, and getting deeper and deeper into things was actually what happened. It wasn't just one day somebody gave me an ultimatum and then it was, oh, this is easy, I'll just do it. The other thing that I realised from the last film was that I'm quite a matter-of-fact person, you know. I don't sort of put airs and graces on things. So, you know, I sort of speak and then afterwards I think, maybe you could have used a better tone or whatever. But what I realised was that I was saying that I've got nothing to be proud of, and I was almost dismissive of people that have told me how proud I should be of myself and stuff like that. I don't mean it to be dismissive, honestly. It means absolutely everything when people say stuff like that. What I was trying to say was that I don't feel that I have done anything that makes me better than anyone else, that is deserving of praise. I always look at the things that I did wrong. I always look at the bad stuff that I did, and there was plenty of that. And so, like I say, I wasn't being dismissive of people's care, because I know that people, when they say how proud they are of you and how well you've done and stuff like that, it's out of genuine care and love, and it is massively appreciated. It's just it's difficult sometimes to take it from people when you yourself don't think you're worthy of it. So anyway, with that out of the way, it sort of leaves me wondering what I'm going to say going forward. Now, the point of the first film was to sort of introduce myself in a sense as somebody who's a recovering alcoholic, who's been recovering for 15 years, and in the hope that somebody who isn't yet in recovery but wants to be sees it and gets something from it that helps them take that step to getting better. So there's no real plan to this other than I'm going to turn up every day and maybe talk a bit. I mean, the way it'll work is through comments, through people commenting and saying what they think or what they need to hear or what they would like to know about or stuff like that. Once I've received some of that, then it'll be easier to sort of know where to go with it. But I took my first drink when I was about 12, maybe a bit younger than that, 11, 12. Usual thing, out with mates, schoolmates. There were a few occasions where, you know, as you do when you're that age, you know, you nip into your parents' drinks cabinet or whatever, and you have a couple of little shots. But I was always the one that went too far from the get-go. I was the one that got too drunk. But more importantly, I was the one that I knew deep down, even then, that there was something not quite right about it because it made me want it so much. One drink made me want the next one so much that, you know, almost from the get go, I knew that something wasn't quite right. So by the time I got to about 15, 16, and we were actually drinking in pubs, because in those days, in the sort of mid 80s, you could walk into a pub, and if you had a bit of bum fluff on your face, you quite often would get served. I mean, things were a lot less strict than I'm sure they are now. So, I suppose I had a bit of confidence and a swagger that I'd just go in and order a drink, and sometimes you get it, and sometimes you wouldn't. And at that stage, about 15 or 16, it felt like I was just doing what everyone else was doing. I didn't really feel like there was a major issue. It was my mum actually that brought to my attention something wasn't right, because there were other alcoholics in my family, people who were either still drinking or were already in recovery. So she had an understanding of it, and she said the way you're drinking isn't quite right. And of course, I fought back against that. I balked against it, and it was all her fault, and she didn't know what she was talking about, and X, Y, Z. But I knew deep down that she was right. And then, I mean, I was skimming over all this, but when I got to about 18, I got quite a lot of money. I was about, I mean, it was about 10 grand at the time, and where some people of 18 would maybe go on a holiday and then invest or save or whatever, I did pretty much the whole lot. I did it in the pub. I did it in on drink, on drugs, on. I did go on a holiday, but um, you know, I did the whole lot, and that was the start of a downward spiral. I was in the pub at opening time every single day. I used to go to this one pub not far from me, and I used to turn up there and I'd knock on the door and I'd get let in right on the dot, and I'd be drinking the whole day. And that was at 18. I had no job, I had no interest in a job, I had money in my pocket, so I didn't need to work. Um, and that was kind of the beginning, if you like, of a very long, very downward spiral. So I've seen, since I decided to do this, I started looking on YouTube for sort of similar channels. Um, and what there is a lot of people who are trying to stop drinking. They're in the process of trying to give up, or they're struggling with their recovery. There's a lot of that. But my channel obviously is slightly different, in as much as I'm gonna try and show, if I can, that try and show almost to those people and to the people that haven't started yet, that you can do it, that you can get there. Not because not, like I said before, not because I'm a guru or because I know everything or because I've got all the answers. Because I haven't got the answers. I've only got the answers that work for me, and hopefully, some of what worked for me will work for you if that's what you need. So, um, so yeah, I'm going to stop this one here because I don't really, as I said at the start, I don't really know what way I'm going to go with this. It will very much rely on sort of comments and and whether or not people actually need to hear it, or want to hear it. Um, so yeah, there's a lot more to tell, but I just need to sort of try and work out how I'm going to tell it, because unlike somebody who's just starting out on their recovery, I don't have those same at this stage. I don't have those same problems. I'm not constantly. Um, well, I'm not in the early stages. I'm not at that point where you need to where you're still trying to win something. You're still trying to get better. I feel like I've been better for a long time, but I will also say that even if you get sober, there will be times where it creeps back in. Um, that will never go away. That there, I mean, even now at 15 years, I'm still sometimes thinking, do you know what? I just want to start drinking again because I loved it and it was so easy, and maybe I could. That old chestnut. Maybe I could just have one drink. I've been sober this long. Surely I could do it. Now, no, I couldn't. I know that's not how it works. So I don't, and I haven't. But it's always there. It's always sitting there waiting, trying to sneak in. It's an insidious illness or disease or whatever you want to call it. It never fully goes away. But you can live a life. I think that's what I'm trying. I think that's it really. I'm just trying to show that you can live a life. The other thing that I said yesterday, which was quite, it kind of annoyed me a little bit, because I was focusing on, I've got a house, I've got a car, and I've got this and I've got that. Whilst all those things are nice, what what I've really got is dignity. I don't wake up in the morning with no money. I don't wake up in the morning with no idea what I've done. I wake up every morning in bed. I don't. People aren't scared of me anymore, or not scared of me, but scared of my volatility, because that's the problem. When I had a drink, I was volatile. I was unpredictable, and people didn't know what they were getting. I didn't even know what they were getting. So all that's gone. People ask me to come out now because they know there's not going to be trouble. Um, and those are the things that are the most important. The house and stuff is nice. I mean, it's just a house. It's a little house, which I've only really got because I was, left some money when my mother died. But um, and it was enough for a deposit. But more important than any of those things is literally just having the dignity to say, um, I'm kind of, for the most part, I'm a normal person, just like everyone else. It's not that bad a thing, being like everyone else. It's it's a lot less of a struggle than being what I was, because what I was a struggle. It was a daily struggle, and any addict out there will know it's a daily struggle to get money to feed their addiction, and the stress and the strain of letting people down and upsetting people, hurting people. The health implications of not eating, or sleeping, all of those things. So anyway, here I am again waffling. Uh, so I'll end it there. But like I say, please do comment, subscribe, like, comment, whatever. But comments are going to be the most important thing, because if I'm not reaching anyone, then there's little point in doing it. But if I am reaching anyone who needs to be reached, then I want to hear from you. So so that if I can help, I, I will. Um, And that's it. I'll see you next time.